Hey, sorry, should have asked. When are we going on? Right at 7?
It's just weird not hearing programming at all. Not hearing you at all. That's going to bother me.
Yeah.
Um, can you hear Chad? Is Chad?
Okay, and he's going right up to 7.
No, we can't hear each other. Normally I can hear him. So I'm going to have to be like this in his space the whole game.
Well, do you have my number? Okay, you want to just text me and let me know when you're ready? Because we're going to wait for the radio broadcast to start. So we'll go whenever works for you guys. Okay, just shoot me a text and give me like a 1-minute warning. All right, thanks.
This is so weird. I can't hear you. Did you mask it last game? I mean, I don't know what the rules are.
Nah. They didn't mind last week. I don't think they'll mind. Welcome to St. Thomas Aquinas, where tonight 2 of the premier running backs in Kansas City go head-to-head as the Thunder of St. James Academy visit the Saints of St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm Tim Spurl. He is Jeremy Crabtree. You're listening and watching on 810varsity.com and Sports Radio 810 WHB. And Jeremy, like I mentioned, 2 of the best running backs in the area. Obviously, a lot of people are familiar with Tank Young, but how about the guy for St. James?
Yeah, no. great transfer from Piper. Comes over, and that helps. Excuse me, sorry, I was expecting to talk about Tank Young. First game notes for me, no, but yeah, James White. I mean, what can you say about him? An impact player for Piper last season. Makes the move over here at St. James. Averaged 6.1 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns last year on the ground. Also a threat out of the backfield, catching the ball over 18 yards receiving. A guy that, could play his way onto the college radar with a big year, and he's going to get a lot of more exposure than, no knock against Piper. He's going to get a lot more exposure playing in this good school against great competition like St. James does. So I'm excited to see him because I've heard great things about him. Now we get a chance to see him play on the big stage, and it's a great team.
But first, we'll see Tank Young in the Saints offense. They will get the ball first in this opening quarter. St. James is in their all-white uniforms. They've got the Shield logo on the side of the lid, a white helmet. They are going to go left to right in this first quarter across your radio dial. And Aquinas in those traditional Navy home jerseys, the gold pants, the gold helmet with the shield on the side of the helmet. They will go right to left. It is week 1 for both of these schools. Week 2 in the state of Kansas. The private schools got delayed a week due to COVID, but we're ready for football at St. Thomas Aquinas. St. James has got this one teed up. It is the kicker, Josh Kirby, end over and kick driven into the cloudy evening is taken at the 1-yard line. Up the far hash mark, straight through the middle across the 25-30, tripped up near the 35-yard line. A good return for Aquinas, and Jeremy, here comes that offense.
Yeah, it's going to be led by Blake Anderson, the senior quarterback, as you mentioned pregame with the guys on A10. Baseball guy, but he's committed himself to playing football, and what I like about him is he is the trigger man. He is the guy that makes all the decisions in this flex bone option attack go, and he's the guy that's going to hand the ball off to Tank Young a lot, but he's going to run an option and make sure that he makes the right decisions. I'm really excited to see how he does in his second full season as a starter.
Blake Anderson will start under center, Tank Young directly behind him. He's going to get the handoff behind right guard, push the pile forward, straight through the middle for about 4 yards, and that's the mantra of this offense.
It is. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this season because Aquinas was so solid on the offensive line last year, but they do have to replace 3 starters. They do have some new guys, experienced guys that were backups, but some new guys playing as a starter for the first time. How can they open up holes for Tank Young? He can't do it all by himself.
2nd and 4 from the 41-yard line of Aquinas as Anderson drops under center again for St. Thomas Aquinas. He's going to drop back, 3-step drop, step up in the pocket, and he is going to get hammered back at the 39-yard line.
Sam Smith, the defensive lineman, came through there. Big defensive end came through and really unblocked on that play. We talked just a second ago about the inexperience of the offensive line. Anderson's got to get rid of that ball quicker, but how about Sam Smith coming up with the big sack? Set up his 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 for Aquinas. Anderson back under center, whistles. And a timeout for St. James, 10:50 to go in this opening quarter. A 3rd and 8 coming up for Aquinas on the other side of this timeout. And for Tank Young, obviously a big year last year, 1,800 yards on the ground. But what does this year mean for him from a recruiting standpoint?
Well, it's going to have to continue to put him on the map. He does have that off Iowa State scholarship offer, but at this point, a lot of the schools have already moved on from early offers. So if he tried to commit right now, it'd be interesting to see if Iowa State would take it. He's a little short, only about 5'7". That's always been the knock on him, his height. But you and I have seen him since he was a freshman. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
And this year, he needs to just continue to do what he does because with so few schools playing high school football across the country, recruiters are going to be looking for guys that are playing as seniors. So he's going to have a senior tape that a lot of schools and a lot of prospects across the country might not have.
Yeah.
So it's going to be actually maybe help him out.
3rd and 8 out of the timeout. Tank Young remains at tailback. Only one receiver in the formation on this 3rd and 8 play. 10:50 to go opening quarter. Anderson is going to option near side. Flip to Tank Young, trying to hit the sideline. Points out for a block from the 45. He is going to run into a white jersey, go backwards at the 46-yard line, about a yard shy of the first down.
I tell you what, it looked like when that play was started, it looked like he was going to get for sure first down. Some good flow to the ball by the Thunder defense. I think Young maybe just keeps going straight up the field. He gets the first down, but 4th down, and we're going to see what Aquinas always does. They're going to go for it on 4th and short as they should.
From their own 46, no hesitation. 10:20 to go, first quarter. Anderson is going to turn right, give to Tank Young, stood up at the line, but he falls forward, and he's got the first down on the second effort.
Yeah, just enough. It's kind of like we saw last night with the Chiefs on 4th and short. You're going to go for it every single time, and with this explosive Aquinas offense, you're going to go for it on 4th and short every single time, especially when you've got a tremendous, effective, strong running back like Tank Young.
Kammerer, the only receiver in the formation. He winds up wide to the left, out of the middle of the field, right at the 50-yard line. Anderson gives to Young, running left side as he spins forward to the St. James 46, gain of 4.
That's a couple good plays by Sam Smith, the defensive end. He's the guy that Blake Anderson has been reading a lot on these early option plays, and that one, Anderson maybe should have pulled it and kept it going around the end because Smith crashed hard.
Dreiling did say that he plans to use Blake Anderson a lot more this year in the run game. He added 25 pounds in the offseason.
Well, he averaged about a yard a carry last year.
2nd and 6 play. Off the left hash mark, they're going to option flip it again to Tank Young. It's the far side, 35-30. There goes Tank Young, 25. Cut back, and he's upended near the 23-yard line, but a flag back near the 31.
Great read on the option by Anderson. This might be holding down the field by one of the receivers because there was just such tremendous blocking on the perimeter. It's usually an indication of what that is.
Aquinas is starting to walk backwards.
That's Aquinas receivers. You know, Tim, we've been around this stuff. They're better blockers than they are receivers in many senses.
Yeah. It is a hold against Aquinas, but like you said, on the receiver, it should be a first down. Well, it's going to end up being 2nd and 2. It was well downfield.
Yeah, it was.
Had it been just 2 yards forward, it still would have been a first down, but instead, it takes it back to the 42-yard line where it will remain a second down, but only 2 yards to go after the holding penalty negates what would have been a big gain of the first down. This time, Tank Young out on this second, and flags fly on the hard count as St. James got a head start, and now they'll move the chains.
Yeah, I've been complimenting Sam Smith, but he's the one that jumped offside there for the Thunder, and I can see that as defensive lineman, you especially a defensive end, you're put in that position. You're the guy that's getting red on every single play. You maybe try to jump the snap a little bit and make the quarterback make an earlier decision than what he wants to, make a mistake. Unfortunate there because it ended up giving him first down.
It puts Aquinas at the St. James 37. Sean Carroll, the deep back now. Like I mentioned, Tank Young still on the sideline on this 1st and 10 play. They're going to give to Carroll. They bobble the exchange, hits the turf, but Blake Anderson, first one to it, is going to get swallowed up 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just misreading. New running back in there, Carroll. Runs into the mesh point of Blake Anderson. You'd have to go back and look at film and who was wrong on that, but very fortunate for Aquinas. They were able to jump back on top of that football.
Loss of 2 after the fumble, and Tank Young back into the game. Carroll heads off, for Aquinas. Young, 32 touchdowns on the ground last season, 3 through the air. 2nd and 12 play from the right hash mark. Anderson, play fake, wants to go to the air. Deep ball, going for it all. He is incomplete. He just overshot Evan Kammerer.
Yeah.
And he was wide open.
Yeah, you said it right, Tim. They are so good at that play action pass. The corner, Danny Walsh, bit big time on it. And Kammerer was wide open, and Anderson just tried to float it up there just enough and overthrew it just by a hair. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown. Great play.
3rd and 12. And despite playing in the run-heavy offense, Blake Anderson has started to reel in some small school offers, a lot at the Division II level. So this is a big year for him as well. Off the right hash, and now a timeout taken by Aquinas. We've already seen 2 timeouts on the opening drive of the ballgame, 8:08.
Week 1.
Yeah.
That's what happens week 1, and this is a big third down conversion for both these teams here early on because, we've seen that St. James is pretty stout on the defensive side of the ball. If they can come up with a stop here and maybe force either a really long field goal attempt and or get the ball back on a turnover or downs, it could give them some good momentum. So this is a big play early on in this game because we've been around enough. Aquinas likes to put the foot down on the gas early on against people. So St. James knows that, so they know that they have to come up with a stop here.
Interestingly enough, St. James, St. Thomas Aquinas played twice last year. And the opener, it was a tight one. They played on October 11th. It was a 28-21 game. Aquinas won that one. But even in the playoffs, St. James held Aquinas to 34. And I know you kind of scoff when you hear something like that, but this is an Aquinas offense that averaged 45 a game last year.
Yeah, no question. 5,000 yards of total offense. So, yeah, if you can hold them to 34, and you got to think you have a chance to win in that game.
3rd and 12 out of the timeout at the right hash. Anderson flips to Tank Young, short side of the field, looking for blockers. He dances around one, flag flies as he's dropped near the 35-yard line. And
it's a weird spot for a flag.
It is, because I was going to say, if this is against St. James, that's dangerous, but they're reacting as if it's against Aquinas.
Yeah, maybe a block in the back on the sideline there. But, yeah, you're right. This St. James sideline is fired up. I mean, because they're hitting hard. I mean, Tank Young's taken some very solid hits here on this first drive.
And I said it in the pregame, a lot of unknowns about this St. James defense. They don't return a lot of guys. They only return 3 starters to this defense. So, I mean, we'd love to tell you where their strengths and weaknesses are, but we don't know.
Yeah, and that's something that Coach Radke was curious to see how his defense would step up because he knew he had to replace so many guys.
Now, how about this? St. James declined the penalty. So it's going to be 4th and 8 for Aquinas. 8 minutes to go opening quarter, and a 3rd timeout taken on this opening drive. The 2nd by Aquinas.
Now,
and what do you think of the play here?
I think this is usually when you dial up your play action to your tight end. That's something that Aquinas has been so good at over the years, trying to find their tight end, shooting out of the backfield. But, again, having to replace so many guys on the offensive side of the ball, you don't have a tight end that has any receptions at all coming into this game. I mean, yes, A.J. Morazos did play some last season, but didn't have a reception. So where do you go to? Because you don't have a whole lot of experience of guys catching the football. Maybe a screen pass to Tank Young.
Do you like the early decision here, though? 8 minutes to go first quarter, first drive of the game.
I think you have to go for it. I just think you –
no man's land.
No man.
Yeah.
You are very much – you're at the 35-yard line. A punt's going to not do you any good. You're not going to be able to kick the ball in this kind of weird, cold evening. It's going to be would be a 50-yard plus field goal. So I think you go for it. Maybe try to find a way to put the ball into your best player's hands in the passing game.
Yeah, it'd be a 52-yard field goal from right here. The offense back out there. 8:01 to go with this opening quarter. They're going to go for it on a 4th and 8. One receiver in the formation. That's Evan Kammerer. Man goes in motion to the left side. Anderson, short drop, looking over the middle, scrambling left, dumps it off to Tank Young, trying to make a man miss. He makes one miss, makes two miss, across the 30-yard line near the 26, extends the football, and Tank Young is right at the spot to get. He did that on his own.
You're right, Tim, exactly. He should have been tackled for about a 2-yard loss, but manages to cut left, cut right back, got one little slight block, and was able to get up the field and get just enough for a first down. Credit Blake Anderson also because he somehow found a way to get the ball just off to his running back last second, bided enough time. But, boy, huge missed opportunity, though, for the Thunder because that should have been a tackle for a loss and a turnover on downs and offense going the opposite direction.
Tank Young made two guys miss in a phone booth right there. 1st and 10 to the 27. They're going to give to Young straight up the middle, dodges past one, lowers the shoulder, and hammers across the 19 for a gain of 8.
And this is what Aquinas traditionally, after they convert a big third down or convert a big fourth down, they always make it count. They almost always punch it into the end zone. That's what these teams have been so good at Aquinas over the years. So this is a very important drive for them here.
No receivers in the formation on this 2nd and 2. They give to Tank behind left guard, and he falls forward for 3 yards and a first down to about the 15.
I tell you what, we see so much throwing the football in high school football now. This is sexy to me. I love watching old school lineup and the flex bone, double tight ends, and run right at us. At you, you got to stop it. And right now, the Thunder aren't.
6:50 to go opening quarter. Aquinas at the St. James 15. They give to Young right side. He is plugged up immediately at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Austin Bibler was in there. 12 tackles a year ago. That's one of those returning starters.
One of the few. They do have some good size on this defensive line for the Thunder. That was one thing noticed coming in, that Harry Spencer, 6'3", 255. Jesus Diaz, 6'3", 212. They've got some good size up front, and that's what it takes because Aquinas doesn't have a huge offensive line. So if you can get some penetration with your bigger defensive line, that can slow down this option attack.
2nd and 10, 6:13 to go opening quarter. Anderson, option play left side. Late pitch to Tank. Makes one man miss and pushed out of bounds near the 14-yard line. Gain of a yard. That was a very late pitch.
It was a very late pitch, but there's a perfect example of that penetration that I was talking about. The right defensive end, Austin Bibler, did a nice job just getting through and forcing Anderson to pitch late. Just, if you can get that penetration, you're going to disrupt this option attack.
3rd, let's call it 9.5. 6 minutes to go opening quarter. No receivers again in the formation. Young remains the deep back. Anderson is going to give to Young straight up the middle, pushes the pile forward inside the 10, down to about the 9-yard line, but still going to be about 3 yards shy of the first down marker. Brings up another 4th down on the opening drive.
But that play was more to set up the 4th down play here. You run the ball, pick up some good yardage to make it 4th and manageable, because there was no doubt at all that they were going to go for it here on 4th down.
They got to get to the 5-yard line to move the chains. Call it a 4th and 4. They have already converted 2 other 4th downs on this drive. Kammerer, the lone receiver in the formation. Anderson sends a man in motion. Play fake, wants to throw. Deep ball for the end zone. That is hauled in. Kammerer has got it in the corner of the end zone. And Aquinas converts their 3rd, 4th down. They lead 6-0.
And an interesting play call. That was totally unexpected. The Kammerer one-on-one against Holden Archer, and he beat it. And how about the pass by Blake Anderson? He put the corner route right on that pylon in the back left corner, and that was an excellent executed pass play. And what a drive by Aquinas to start this game.
Extra point up and good. 7-0 Aquinas. A long opening drive, but they strike first on Sports Radio 810. Welcome back to St. Thomas Aquinas High School. 7-0 STA leads. 5:26 to go opening quarter. Blake Anderson, a 9-yard touchdown pass to Evan Kammerer, his first touchdown reception of the year. And now St. James ready to touch the football for the first time tonight. And James White, the electrifying tailback, stands near his own 6-yard line. End over end kick is going to be taken near the 10-yard line. Far hash across the 25-30. Far sideline 40. Foot race midfield and getting dragged down from behind near the 42-yard line. A great return for St. James.
Jack Steinlage. Tremendous return. Actually, I know him quite well. He is my neighbor. They were fired up about this game, and he gets that kickoff and scoots down the field, gives this Thunder offense just tremendous field position here. And we're going to see James White right out of the gate. I'm sure, like we saw with Tank Young, I bet we see a big dose of him here for the St. James offense.
Steinlage, a huge return, has got St. James at the Aquinas 42-yard line. 5:17 to go opening quarter. 4 receivers in the formation for Dakota Burrett, the senior quarterback. Claps his hands, gives to James White straight up the middle. Across the 35, banging his way to the 32-yard line. 10 yards for James White.
That's what you want to see. Just tremendous, simple, easy, off tackle to pull the guard, and a nice first down run. And tell you what, James White, he looks solid, Tim. He is put together.
That guy is built, man. 5'9", 190, and he is thick and very shifty. You talk about this kid. He is a freak athlete. And it'll be on display tonight. 1st and 10, short drop. Bird is going to fire an out route near side. High grab made, and Claiborne is wrapped up immediately at the 30-yard line by Elias Carson.
Interesting play call right there. Just kind of get Burritt going on a simple, easy out route and trying to keep this Aquinas defense honest. And we haven't had a chance talking about this Aquinas defense, but it on paper is the best in the Kansas City metro area.
They give him 3 yards on the reception. 2nd and 7 from the Aquinas 29. 4:25 to go opening quarter off the right hash. Claiborne alone to the right side. 3 receivers to the left, and White remains behind Burritt in the pistol. Flags fly at the snap, and it looks like this is going to be a false start.
Yeah, this is the type of mistakes that the Thunder cannot afford to make. I mean, you're playing against one of the best teams in this city and trying to pull off an upset. You gave up a big drive, and you're moving. Well, you can't afford to give up 5 free yards.
2nd and 12 play after the penalty for St. James. This time they're going to break the huddle with 2 left, 2 right in the formation. Now 3 left, 2 right as LaJames White goes into the slot left side. Britt all alone in the shotgun. Whistles and another flag and another false start. Aquinas keeps creeping pressure up. And I think some of these young linemen are getting a little bit jumpy.
Yeah, I think also you can look at James White trying to get a little bit of a head start. They were going to throw the ball to him in the flat on an out route. And I love the play call, but you can't get a head start, like you said, with a little bit of jumping on the offensive line, too, especially when you're going against so much Division I talent on the opposite side that the Aquinas defense does have. You can get a little jittery sometimes.
Danny Carroll is a North Dakota commit. Caden Reeves is a guy that's got a couple of offers from Ball State, Southeast Missouri State. We haven't even talked about the DNs yet. Burritt, short drop on a 2nd and long play. His pass is tipped and incomplete. Intended for LaJames White. They were trying to set up the screen pass, but it got tipped at the line. That's going to be 3rd and real long.
Yeah, Tommy Malcott, the Eagle linebacker, got his hands up there and in front of Burritt and knocked that pass down. And, what started out was a very exciting drive for Thunder, quickly self-destructing.
3rd and 17 from the Aquinas 39-yard line. 4 receivers. Burritt, short drop. Here comes pressure at his face. Gets rid of a deep ball far side. That is called in by Claiborne and then dropped. Couldn't complete it to the ground, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, just could not come up with the ball, and he was open. If Burritt is able to put that more on a line instead of more up in the air, kind of a looping pass, that's a 1st down.
Offense stays out there for the moment.
Remember, Burritt's a punter. Yeah.
So we've seen this before, where the offense lines up, and then the quarterback will just take a couple steps back and boot it. He's got 3 receivers in the formation. It's a regular shotgun formation. Burritt on a 4th and 17, 1 step back, and he's just going to unload a shallow punt that heads out of bounds near the Aquinas cheerleaders. And they're going to mark it off up near the 30-yard line, past the 30-yard line, about the 31. So Aquinas, good opening field position for their 2nd drive of the game. First drive, again, they converted 3 fourth downs on the drive, but they end up scoring the touchdown, Blake Anderson to Evan Cameron.
This is an important drive for the Thunder. They saw some signs of life on both offense and defense, but broke down and weren't able to stop him and keep him out of the end zone and weren't able to do something on the offensive side of the ball. This is a very important drive here. You cannot afford to let Aquinas have a big drive and get a big score here.
Anderson is going to keep it right side. Flag flies as he lowers the shoulder across the 38-yard line. And this is in the area of holding. 3:18 to go opening quarter. 7-0 Aquinas on Sports Radio 810. It is going to be a hold against Aquinas. Taking on St. James, the 2nd-ranked team in Class 4A to start the year. Aquinas, the 2nd-ranked team in Class 5A, behind Mill Valley, who is playing DeSoto tonight. That's a tough game for Mill Valley. But we talked about in the pregame, a lot of these schools with the rescheduling wanted to really challenge themselves, Mill Valley being one of those schools, and both of these teams tried to challenge themselves as much as they could this year.
Yeah, we'll be sure to run down some scores on the A10 Varsity scoreboard here pretty soon, but you're right. This is what's so fun about the new world that we're living in, we get some of these great games that we probably would not have gotten last year.
Straight up the middle, and he is corralled near the 23-yard line. Short gain on 1st and 19. Call it just 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and long. Blake Anderson, they tried to give him the football on that first down play that was called back. Like I said, Randy Dreiling wants to get his quarterback a lot more involved in the run game. I said he added the 25 pounds to his frame this summer. He now benches 280 as a high school senior. Sends Tank Young in motion. They're going to flip it to him right side, trying to hit the far sideline. Here's a cutback near the middle of the field. Spins past a man, left hash mark, all the way out to the 34-yard line. Gets a lot of that penalty yardage back and then some. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 play off the 35-yard line.
Very manageable. And that's what that play call was designed to do, to make the 3rd down play a manageable thing. And the whole playbook's wide open in 3rd and intermediate or short if you're Aquinas.
1:50 to go opening quarter. And they go from a 1st and 19 to a 2nd and 16 to a 3rd and 4. And we saw him go for it 3 times on 4th down last drive, so this is probably 4-down territory again if they don't get it here. 1 receiver in the formation. Horn goes in motion. They're going to give to Young straight up the middle. Dances past 1, falls forward right at the line to gain. And that should go ahead and move the chains. Call it 5 yards to the 40 and a 1st down.
Yeah, this is typical St. Thomas Aquinas offense. Just give it to your star, let him run behind the line and pick up the big 1st down.
This game brought to you, by the way, by CarStar Metcalf. They're your local collision repair experts in Overland Park. 1st and 10 off their own 40-yard line goes Aquinas. They're going to pitch it near side. That's Powell dodging past 1 across the 44, 45-yard line as he's gang tackled. Falls forward near the 47, but a lot of flags, and this one's coming back.
That was, yes. They're going to call block in the back or something over there in that perimeter. And it wasn't just one ref. See, there was like 3 of them flew at once.
It's a block of the back, so that's a 15-yard penalty. And we just saw Aquinas overcome a hold call on 1st down. And now they're going to have to overcome a block in the back penalty on 1st down.
Yeah, we got an early score in that Mill Valley DeSoto game we were talking about. Mill Valley up 7-0 over DeSoto. Don't forget you can get all your scores on both sides of the state lawn on 810varsity.com.
That's a spot foul, rather, so it's going to be 1st and 17 for Aquinas off their own 33-yard line. Young remains the deep back. Anderson, option keeper right side, lowers the shoulder and plows his way across the 45-yard line and gets a lot of that yardage back.
Yeah, just tremendous job on the right side of this offensive line. The 2 returning starters, Danny Carriel and Michael Lutchfield, just did a tremendous job of really clearing the path for Anderson. He didn't have anybody near him until he got to that 2nd level, almost to the 3rd level, and that's just tremendous blocking on that right side of the offensive line.
Call it 2nd and 6 for Aquinas. Just 25 seconds to go in this opening quarter. This will likely be the last play of this 1st quarter. Kammerer alone to the left side. From the middle of the field, they're going to give to Powell running left side, lowering the shoulder and falling forward near the 49. But a penalty flag flies in from the side judge.
I think we're going to get a face mask. It sure looked like one of the Thunder defenders got their hands in there near the face mask of Carroll.
And it is going to be a face mask against St. James. So that's going to put Aquinas into Thunder territory with 10 seconds to go in this opening quarter. They're going to roll the clock, and that should take us. Oh, you got to wait till they spot the ball, sir. They got a little jumpy. 7-0 Aquinas after the face mask has got Aquinas at the St. James 37-yard line. We'll see if Aquinas decides to get a snap off. Now they run the clock after the spot. Anderson's going to tuck his way under center. And they are going to get one more snap off. Play fake. Anderson, short drop. Down the middle. It is overthrown again. He was looking for Kammerer down the seam. But he overshoots his target. And that's twice now he's overshot Kammerer.
Yeah, Kammerer was open between the safety and the cornerback. And Anderson can almost just put a little bit more on a rope.
Let
That's
him
a
get on,
touchdown.
Second and 10, just 5 seconds now to go in the opening quarter. He does have the touchdown completion to Kammerer, however, from 9 yards away. And now we see 2 receivers bunched to the right side of the formation. Out of the middle of the field, they're going to toss to Tank Young, running right side, trying to hit the edge. He's got a block across the 25, and he's upended near the 22-yard line. And that is how the first quarter ends at 15. Well, hold on, a 15-yard run, but a penalty flag. And let's get you the call before we head to break.
It's usually in the vicinity of holding out there on that perimeter.
And again, that was running away from us, so we couldn't tell you if it was a good block or a hold. There is a Saint down on the far sideline. As we wait for the white hat, and it is going to be a hold against Aquinas. So while they sort that out, we will step aside. We're at the end of one, 7-0. St. Thomas Aquinas on Sports Radio 810. Welcome back on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 810Varsity.com. They continue to take care of the injured Saints on the ground on the sideline away from us. So we haven't been able to tell you who the Saint is, but whoever it is has just been helped to their feet. And again, Jeremy, week 1 for both of these teams. Kansas got going last week, but again, with everything kind of tiered now the way it is, these 2 teams getting underway. But again, Olathe hasn't played yet. Blue Valley hasn't played yet. Shawnee Mission. But it's looking more and more like everyone's going to get a chance to play.
It's how it should be, to be honest. If they're able to go back to school in some fashion, I think you can find a way to play football safely. And there are so many restrictions. We see everybody on the sideline with face coverings. The cheerleaders have face coverings. There's a right way to do it, and I appreciate that the schools in the school districts in the Kansas City metro area have figured it out. And the numbers, I work at Channel 9, so I see the numbers every single day. The numbers appear to be going in the right direction. So those are all positives for us to get to the point where we are playing high school football on both sides of the state line and virtually every single district.
So we start quarter 2. Aquinas from the 43 of St. James, and this play is whistled dead, a false start against Aquinas, and we'll try it again. We haven't really talked about the crowd tonight. It's a good crowd considering everything. It's not a regular Aquinas home crowd. But still, they said 4 tickets per player, and it probably looks about that, but everyone is distanced throughout the crowd. Everyone obviously has their masks. And obviously the parents and everything trying, just like the kids are, to keep a season going.
No question. And it just takes one mistake to turn it the opposite direction. Aquinas has one of the best high school tailgating scenes anywhere. And it was a little odd to walk up and not see any tailgating. So that's one thing that we're certainly going to miss, and hopefully we will be back to that next season.
2nd and 22 off the St. James 49 after the penalty. Anderson, short drop, is going to fire a slant route. Kammerer breaks 1 tackle, and then he's dropped from behind near the 37-yard line. They pick up 12 yards, and it's going to make it a 2nd and 10.
Now, it should have been just like a 2 or 3 yard gain, but Danny Walsh does not make the tackle. Kammerer just breaks the tackle and was able to make some good yardage up. And we have a timeout now, or
Well, they technically ran one more play to end the quarter. We'll
There
go
we
ahead
go.
and talk it through. We already gave you your quarter break, so bring us second and 10. Cameron getting busy, though. He's already been targeted 4 times in this first quarter. The only guy that Blake Anderson has thrown to. And like I said, Jeremy, not everyone's playing, but most teams are playing on this busy Friday night.
Yeah, and we're already getting some scores on the Missouri side of the 8-10 varsity scoreboard. And, of course, I hit refresh there. Lee Summit West is now up 14-6 over Lee Summit. That's the big rivalry there. Ray Peck is down 10-7 to Liberty North. Lee Summit North and Liberty 7-7. And North Kansas City up over Fort Osage 7-0. Truman is up 7, or actually, just updated here. Truman and Oak Park are tied 7-7. Raytown South up, actually down, I can't read today, is down 20-12 to Winnetonka. We'll get you the game scores here on the Kansas side here in a second.
That game break, by the way, brought to you by CarStar Metcalf. If you were a family member, gets an offender bender, be sure to call CarStar Metcalf CarStar. They have got you covered. So now out of the first quarter break that we've had, it'll be a 3rd and 10 for Aquinas off of the St. James 38-yard line. They're going to give to Tank Young behind left guard, pushes the pile forward to about the 32-yard line. Gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 4th and 5, but you know the offense is going to stay
exactly, and that, again, just like we saw that last touchdown drive, run the ball on 3rd and long to set up 4th and shorter. And you know, if you're the Thunder, you've played very good defense for the most part. You've bent but not really broken. If you can come up with a stop right here, you're really going to be fired up.
They've been close. They've held Aquinas now to 4 fourth downs tonight. But Aquinas has converted the previous 3. Here we go. 2 receivers in the formation off the left hash. It's a 4th and 4. Anderson sends a man in motion. He's going to keep it. Bootleg right side looking to pass. Now he's going to tuck it and take off across the 30. Cut back 25, 20, 15. And Anderson is chipped up from behind. And a beautiful play design right there.
Yeah, you described it perfectly, Tim. And you talked about in pregame how they wanted to get Blake Anderson more involved in the running game. He wasn't really much of a runner last year, only averaging about a yard a carry. Only 1 touchdown on the ground. Perfectly designed. Everybody in the stadium thought Tank Young was going to get the football. He fakes it, rolls to the right, follows a block, and then churns it upfield to get the first down. Great play call.
To the 14-yard line of St. James goes Aquinas. 10:55 to go second quarter. Young, the deep back, loses the football on the exchange, and Anderson again is first man to it. That was the center quarterback exchange. Anderson never even got his hands on it, but he does recover the fumble. It's a loss of 2.
Yeah, Bryce Clayman and Anderson just could not hook up there, and usually that's on the quarterback pulling out just a little bit too early. And that's what's so difficult about this triple option attack is you have to be right on the money on every single little facet of the running attack.
So 2nd and 13, they call it a loss of 3. Anderson is going to keep behind left guard, and he gets hammered near the 14-yard line, the original line of scrimmage, and it should be a 3rd and about 10 play here, 10:08 to go second quarter.
And that was just a double isolation where the 2 running backs actually blocked for Anderson coming off the left guard Morgan Simmons and left tackle Grant Willis, but not a lot of running room here. And here again, we're 3rd and long, and this is when Aquinas has traditionally in this game so far tried to set up 4th and shorter.
It's been the Tank Young show on these 3rd and longs so far in this first half. Let's see if they continue to run that train. 3rd and 10. Anderson, play fake, wants to go to the air. He is going to evade 1 sack, scramble back to the left side. Anderson turning on the burners, inside the 10, 5 for the pylon. Blake Anderson scrambles in from 15 away, and Houdini just pulled a disappearing act.
You're right, he did pull a disappearing act. He felt the backside pressure from Sam Smith just right at the perfect moment, just kind of ducked and was able to scoot around that left side. And then guess what? Then he showed some wheels because he did not have the angle it looked like initially. Blake Anderson, just a tremendous athletic play. He's got a touchdown run and a touchdown pass tonight.
Extra point kick is up and good. 14-0. Blake Anderson, how do you do? It's a 2-touchdown lead for Aquinas on Sports Radio 810. 14-0. Aquinas leads. 9:29 to go till halftime. Blake Anderson, a 15-yard touchdown run after the disappearing act. And Steinledge and White back deep to receive this ensuing kick. It'll be Steinledge from the 15, near hash mark 25, lowers the shoulders, fights forward to about the 30-yard line. And here comes St. James, and now flags everywhere, pushing and shoving after the tackle. And it looked like it was St. James that initiated the pushing and shoving. It's normally one of those things that goes both ways, but that was pretty evident from here.
And sometimes, unfortunately, the second guy gets caught in those situations. But I think
that was right in front of the officials, too.
They should get this one right. But we talked about the Houdini act by Blake Anderson. He's got 7 rushes for 38 yards in that long touchdown run, but he's also 3 of 5 for 29 yards in a touchdown pass. He's having himself a heck of a first half.
Let's see what the call is here. Or they go offsetting. They will go offsetting, and that's normally what happens in a situation like that, especially on the high school level. So both coaches will, I'm sure, give a talking to each player. And no harm, no foul, in a sense, for St. James. After the kick return, they'll start from around their own 30-yard line.
No, it's important here for St. James just to actually possess the ball a little bit. They've got only 2 minutes of time of possession here in this first half. It seems like Aquinas has had the ball this entire game, and they have. They've got almost 10 minutes of ball possession, so first St. James going to get some going here.
And whistles, and this could be the 3rd penalty against the St. James offense in this first half. And it is a false start. Oh, excuse me, an offside call. The initial signal from the far side judge was a false start, but then they overruled him, called an offside, so that one goes against Aquinas. But I'm with you. St. James has got to at least possess the ball a little bit, because we've seen nothing but the Aquinas offense on the field tonight, it seems like.
And that's the 10th penalty here tonight. A lot of not looking good in this first half.
3 to the right, 1 to the left, 1st and 5, 9:22 to go till halftime. Burritt out of the shotgun is going to give to White straight up the middle, breaks 1 tackle, spins forward, and fights for 4 yards. And it'll be a 2nd and 1 play. This guy is physical and fast. If he gets into the open field, look out. He did it all last year for Piper. Again, we talked about it. Transferred about a month ago to St. James, and from everything that I've been told, he has fit in seamlessly with this program. 2nd and a yard, 8:53 to go till halftime. St. James from their own 41-yard line. Off the near hash. Burritt gives to White. Good cutback inside, breaks 1 tackle. Burritt, far side midfield, picking up a block. 40-yard line. There goes White near the 30, and he's shoved out of bounds near the 29-yard line.
There was the strength that you talked about, because people were bouncing off of his legs, and then he just made a cut to the outside and showed that speed. Hey, Tim, this is fun. This is getting a chance to see him in this offense. And I mean, he had a great year at Piper last year, but if he can do this season, he's going to play his way into some scholarships.
And tonight, St. James, they're going to need James White to have himself a big game. And that was his biggest run of the ball game so far. He's got St. James at the 30 of Aquinas with 8.5 to go till halftime. 14-0 Aquinas leads, but St. James on the move. Burritt out of the pistol is going to give to White on the stretch play near side. Cut back near the hash, and he drags a tackler to the 26, but a flag flies.
It's going to be holding.
You said it. We've already had 10 penalties, about to have an 11th. And it is going to be a hold against St. James, but this is typical week 1 stuff.
Well, yeah, but not what you expect from 2 very good, well-coached teams. I mean, usually Aquinas and Coach Dreiling and Coach Radke over at St. James, their teams are usually well-coached.
Yes.
And this is, what, the 11th or 12th penalty that we've already had here, and we're still not even under the 8-minute mark in the first half.
Penalties essentially ended that first drive for St. James. And now they've got them backed up 1st and 22 from their own 42, or from the Aquinas 42. Burritt throws a hitch near side. Claiborne breaks a tackle, and he's off 20, inside the 10, and Claiborne is going to get into the end zone, and now they're going to say he stepped out back at the 17-yard line, where he was originally tripped.
Claiborne does not think he went out of bounds, and unfortunately, there's no instant replay here on high school football, but they did definitely call him out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
And it is going to be marked out near the 17-yard line. And that's going to go ahead and move the chains for St. James. But it was a pretty mild whistle. We didn't hear it up here. So it wasn't a definitive whistle where he's out, but they will mark him out at the 17, 1st and 10 for St. James after the hook up to Claiborne. Burritt, play fake, bootlegs left, fires one near side, high catch bobbled and dropped. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, interesting that they don't go right back to White here on the running attack. They have had some success in the air, Burritt, on that previous play, but I find the way to get the White more involved here.
They targeted Josh Kirby, 6'3", 180 on the edge for St. James, but he couldn't haul that one in on the sideline. 2nd and 10 again. Off the Aquinas 17-yard line near hash, 8:05 to go till halftime. Out of the pistol, Burritt wants to go to the air again. Pressure in his face, fires an out route, incomplete, out ahead of Claiborne, and it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, tremendous pressure by this defensive line from Aquinas. Burritt never really got to set his feet at all and put anything behind that pass because he had 2 or 3 guys in his face. Jalen Marshall, Caden Reeves. I mean, just a lot of good pressure from this defensive line. And this, again, you know they're coming here on this 3rd and long situation. Maybe look for White on a screen pass or something underneath or something really quick hitting because you do not want to have Burritt sitting in the pocket for too long and potentially take you out of field goal range with the sack.
I expect this defensive front to pin their ears back on a 3rd and 10. Off the left hash mark, Burritt gives to White, and he is stormed under in the backfield. Sal Ciavi'i led the charge for Aquinas. It's a loss of 5 yards, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, we haven't even had a chance to call Ciavi'i's name, and this guy was a Max Preps freshman All-American last year. 6'3", 230 pounds. But that also was a play call. That was almost a safe play to try to make sure that you run the ball toward the middle of the field to set up a field goal attempt.
4th and 15. Field goal unit out onto the field. This will be a 39-yarder for Josh Kirby. Snap is low, hold is good, kick on the way from 39. It is no good, wide right. Kirby had the distance.
And it didn't help that the snap was low, and the holder had to pick the ball up off the ground, and Sam Smith, who's had a very good game on the defensive side of the ball, just did not put enough on the long snap and messed up Kirby's whole mechanics, and that just did not look good at all from the beginning.
And so Aquinas will take over from their own 20-yard line after the missed field goal, up 14-0, 7-11 to go till halftime on Sports Radio 810. Anderson back into the game. This offense is the 3rd time they've touched the ball. Anderson's going to keep on an option play. Lowers the shoulder across the 32-yard line. That's going to move the chains again to 12.
Now, we keep saying this like a broken record, but the less running opportunities that Tank Young has to have and the more opportunities that other people can carry the load for this Aquinas team, the fresher he will be later on this season.
Yeah.
When they do make a playoff run. That was one of the knocks on him, is that he would be run down toward the end of the season. He has been injured late in the season because he had 40 carries, 50 carries a game. If you can get Blake Anderson or somebody else to carry the ball, that helps him out.
Another fumble on the center quarterback exchange, and for a 3rd time, Blake Anderson is there to cover it up.
Just again, a little too excited, trying to do a little too much right out of the gate, and that's what's so hard about this option offense, is that every little single mechanics have to be perfect, but not a mistake you would expect your senior quarterback to make, not just once, but twice, but 3 times so far here in this first half.
6:18 to go till halftime, 14-0 Aquinas. off the near hash. 2nd and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Anderson gives to Young, straight up the middle, bounces past one, dodges past another, spins for a first down, a gain of 10, and a late flag flies after the stop.
Late hit, pile it on.
Yeah, that's in the area of a personal foul.
Well, no, they're pointing the other way.
Yeah, St. James celebrating after that 10-yard run. So you would assume that it would go against Aquinas.
Tell you what, though, Tim, that was vintage Tank Young.
It was.
Just so strong. He should have been tackled for a 1, 2, 3-yard gain, but still powers his way. Such great lower body strength. I got to admit, I want to see him squat. I want to see what his leg press is, because he's got to have just some crazy weight room numbers, because that's what that was right there. Just using your lower body strength to go through defensive players.
So a personal foul against Aquinas. I'm not sure what happened. Like I said, it was after the stop. But they go from what would have been a first down run to a 2nd and 15 off their own 27-yard line now. Inside 6 minutes to go till halftime. Lone receiver in the formation is Kammerer, wide to the right. Anderson, short drop, wants to throw. He's going to fire an out route near side. It's tipped away by LaJames White.
Yeah, he had that read really well. One thing that Anderson does do is he does kind of zero in on one target and hope that the receivers or the tight ends can run to where he's going to throw it. And you called it right. White just zeroed in on that and read it well and almost came up with a big interception.
White did not start the game defensively, and obviously he's going to carry a load tonight offensively, but 35 tackles a year ago on the defensive side of the ball for Piper. 3rd and 15, they're going to toss far side to Tank Young, dodges past one, and this time St. James rallies to meet him near the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a 4th and long from the 27. I don't think Aquinas goes for this.
No, and this is something you don't see too often. The punt team running on the field for Aquinas. We think we've gone entire games, Tim, doing Aquinas games in the past where they haven't punted once. So this is a good answer by the Thunder defense here to take advantage of the personal foul mistake and force the punt.
Jack Ghostman back deep to return for St. James. Kammerer, the punter, on for Aquinas. Inside 5 to go till halftime. Low end over and punt. Ghostman's not even going to touch this one. Checks up near midfield and got to be careful. A St. James player was almost pushed into the ball. But it is going to be.
He was thrown about 10 yards.
They tossed him right over that football. He somehow avoids it, though, and it is down at the Aquinas 47. So St. James, for the second time tonight, is going to start in Aquinas territory. They've been in Aquinas territory 3 times already. But again, a 0 on the scoreboard.
And yeah, James White, only 3 carries for 34 yards. Got to do better. You got to get him more involved in this offense here, your Coach Radke.
From the Aquinas 47, 4:48 to go till halftime off the right hash. Burritt claps his hands, 1-step drop, fires a hitch route. Claiborne again making the man miss. He's got a first down. He's all the way out to the 33-yard line. Call it 15, and they're going to move the chains.
I tell you what, he's been the most explosive offensive player. That's nothing fancy about that. Just take the snap, get it out quickly, get it into your playmaker's hands, and Claiborne's making people miss, and almost had a touchdown earlier, then gets a big first down conversion there.
32 catches, 537 yards, and 2 touchdowns through the air last year for Claiborne. He's got St. James to the Aquinas 34-yard line, 4:25 to go till halftime. 14-0 Aquinas leads. From St. Thomas Aquinas, Burritt with an empty backfield over the middle, no one home. His receiver hadn't even turned around yet, and it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Again, that's throwing to a spot quickly, and you nailed it, Tim. The receiver miscommunicated there, was going up the field still. It almost looked like he was going to block in there, but Burritt just throws it to a spot where no one was there.
2nd and 10 for St. James. They've gotten down inside the Aquinas red zone tonight. But again, they have not been able to come away with points yet. This is their 3rd time on offense in this first half. 2nd and 10 play. Burritt, short drop, has time. Deep ball down the seam. That is incomplete. Overshot Claiborne. And it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, great coverage by Will Gavin. Gavin's another one of these juniors that is back as a returning starter. He was really solid for them last season. Had 2 interceptions. Read that one absolutely perfectly.
3rd and 10 for St. James. And it feels like no man's land right now for St. James. Definitely too far for a field goal. 4 receivers in the formation. Burritt is going to roll left. Wants to fire a pass. He'll fire an out route. High catch made by Claiborne. He steps out near the 21. That's going to be 13 and a first down. That has been the go-to target tonight for Burritt.
Well, and he's just a sophomore too. If you're going to continue to put big numbers up like that, he's going to be somebody that's going to pop up on a recruiting radar. And how about Burritt rolling out, throwing against his body again, and throwing it very accurately up to his big 6'3" receiver.
1st and 10. They spot the ball at the Aquinas 21-yard line. And again, Claiborne just getting busy. 5 catches tonight. Burritt gives to White. Straight up the middle, lowers the shoulder, and carries a defender to the 18-yard line. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Thunder. 3:50 to go till halftime. And St. James trying to cut into this 14-0 advantage for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Tell you what, if they can get a score here, we've got a ball game again, Tim.
Claiborne wide to the left side. 5 catches tonight. 67 yards through the air. They give to White straight up the middle. Dodges one man. Powers through a tackler. He's near the 10-yard line. That's going to move the chains again.
Nice run there. Nice blocking on the right side of the offensive line. And, yeah, that's 1st and goal.
1st and goal as White gets him right to the 10-yard line. 3:12 to go till halftime. St. James on the move on their 3rd drive of the ball game, finally trying to get onto the scoreboard. They've been down here already tonight, but came away empty. Short drop, Burritt lofts one for the end zone. Contact and a flag. They were tossing that up for Brennan Coffey. Coffey got bumped on the route.
Jacob Bittner ran right into the receiver. And Aquinas crowd did not like the call, thinking it was uncatchable, but I think that's the right call, Tim. We've seen these taller St. James receivers go up and get the football. You got to at least try to make an attempt to play the football. You can't just tackle the guy.
Half the distance is going to put the ball at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for St. James. They get 5 yards closer after the pass interference call. Claiborne wide to the left side with 2:59 to go till halftime. Burritt, hard count, gives to White. Hesitation move, and he is going to get dropped back near the 7.
Yeah, nice penetration by multiple levels on the next level there.
Cameron Penny also part of that scrum. 31 tackles a year ago, 3 sacks for the D-end. It's getting recruited as an outside linebacker by a lot of D2 schools around the area.
You've been throwing the ball to Claiborne. This is probably a great opportunity to go right at it right here.
Yeah. 2:25 to go till halftime. Play clock at 9 as they break the huddle. Got to get up quickly here on a 2nd and goal play. Play clock at 3. 4 receivers in the formation. They just get it off. Burritt gives to White, breaks one tackle, tries to reverse field, and now he gets spun around at the 10-yard line. They lose 3 more yards, and 1st and goal from the 5. It's just became 3rd and goal from the 10.
Yeah, I don't like that. That just did not look right from the beginning. It looked like they weren't sure what they wanted to call from the sideline. They get up to the line with just less than 5 seconds, and just ended up being a real jailbreak there. Nice job by this defensive line getting through there, but now maybe the play of the game right here.
Here's where you look for Claiborne. He is in the slot to the left side. Burritt is going to fire a shot for the right corner of the end zone. He overshot his man, and again, the receiver didn't even get his head around when Burritt launches that football, and it's 4th and goal.
I don't know about that one, Tim. You throw it to the 5'8" receiver that was coming off the corner on a corner route, and he wasn't even into the end zone.
4th and goal off the 10. Offense stays out there. I think you take the points here. 1:30 to go till halftime. They tried a 39-yarder. It had the distance, but it was wide right. Instead of the field goal, they'll keep the offense out here. 4th and goal. Burritt rolls left. Fires for the end zone. It is incomplete, looking for Claiborne. That pass would have carried Claiborne out of bounds anyway, and it's going to be a turnover on downs.
Right there, I would have called a timeout. You've got 2 timeouts. You got 1:30 left in the game, first half. Call a timeout. Be sure of what play you wanted to run. Those last 2 plays just did not look right. They felt rushed. And nice stand by the defense here from Aquinas, but if I'm St. James, I'm walking the sideline quite angry.
Frustrated, yes.
Because you had 2 opportunities, actually 4 opportunities inside the 10, and you went backwards.
They have come away empty on back-to-back drives that have gone inside the Aquinas red zone. And now Aquinas takes over with 1:31 to go in the half from their own 10-yard line. Anderson is going to option keep it near side, spins past the tackler, and he's out to the 16-yard line.
Well, this is also dangerous territory, too. If you're the Thunder, you cannot give up a big play because we've seen Aquinas, what looked like they're going to run the ball out, run the clock out here at the end of the half, time after time over the years, and next thing you know, they're racing 50 yards down the sideline for a touchdown.
And now a St. James player slow to get up. So the officials take an injury timeout as Sam Schmitz, the end that had a sack on the opening drive, is going to be helped off the field.
Yeah, that's one you can ill afford to lose.
And now remember, Randy Dreiling took 2 timeouts on the opening drive, so he only has 1 timeout here with 1:19 to go till halftime, and they're going to have to go 84 more yards. They're sitting at the 16 right now, but this is very doable, of course, for Aquinas. But again, you only have 1 timeout now in your pocket.
Yeah, and you're a running attack. But like we said, we've seen Tank Young bust off 60, 70, 80-yard runs like that in this blink of an eye. But this Thunder defense, you got to tip their hat to them. They've played well tonight. They have yet to give up a big run like that. Everything that Aquinas has gotten has been earned.
Yeah, it's all been methodical short chunks. But, yeah, like you said, St. James has done a good job of taking away the big play so far in this first half. So after the injury timeout, Schmidt helped off the field. Jacob Hawley out there. Here comes a 2nd and 4 play for Aquinas. Off their 16. They're going to give it to the wing back. That is Brad Politis out to the 20-yard line. That should move the chains, and it will. It gets right to the sticks.
Yeah, but not really a sense of urgency yet from this Aquinas offense. So it looks like they're kind of content to run their normal offense here.
Yeah, we're inside of a minute now. Dreiling, now does he take the timeout? Whistles. What's the call here? Not a timeout, but they stop the clock.
Yeah, 13. Politis is banged up a little bit.
And so now they're going to make Politis come off. That stops the clock briefly at 56. Now they run it again. Only 1 receiver in the formation. And, yeah, Aquinas taking their time, getting set. Anderson sends a man in motion. He's going to option pitch to Tank Young. Young with a cutback near the hash. Flag flies, reversing field near the 25. 30 near sideline. He is going to get run out of bounds near the 34. James White decks him out of bounds. No flag. But there is a flag, like I said, on the other side of the field. And did you see Blake Anderson get lit up on the option pitch?
He did. And the Aquinas crowd were not happy about that, but also not happy about the it was a half yard out of bounds hit by White there on Tank Young. And
getting a little chippy here near the end of the first half. It is a hold call. But, yeah, Blake Anderson got lit up on that option pitch, and then Tank Young maybe takes it a late hit, maybe a step out of bounds. So getting chippy here.
You got to be tough if you want to be a quarterback here at Aquinas.
Yeah. So now that moves Aquinas back near the 15-yard line. And with only 36 seconds to go in the half now, I really don't think Dreiling is going to put the foot on the gas here. Two receivers in the formation, however. Xavier Horn in the slot to the left, and Evan Kammerer wide to the left for Anderson. They're going to option keep it with Anderson near side across the 21, out of bounds near the 22-yard line. Makes it a second and about 8 play with just 31 seconds to go in this first half. And again, Aquinas only at their own 23-yard line, so not threatening here near the end of this first half. Up 14-0 though. Scored on their first 2 drives of the ball game. Punted on their previous drive. And now drive 4 should take us to halftime, barring the unforeseen here. Second and 8 play. Anderson is going to give to Young, spins off 1 tackle, charges forward near the 28-yard line. And Coach Radke seems content not to take a timeout, as is Coach Dreiling.
Tell you
See
what,
if they even get another play off.
I've been impressed with what we've seen from this Thunder defense this first half. They've bent, but not broken too much.
And St. James will be on offense to start the third quarter. So the last play of the half, Anderson, short drop, fires an out route to Tank, through his hands, incomplete. And we're at the end of the second quarter. 14-0. St. Thomas Aquinas, 2 long drives, but then St. James able to get their footing a little bit defensively. It's a 2-score game as we head for halftime on Sports Radio 810.
Kelly Avila and Christy Kellerman. Ladies, good luck. Your music is on. Who is that? Oh my God, good to see you, brother. Doing all right. That's all the kiddies. Oh God, how old are your twins? They're 4 now. How's your wife? She's good. Yeah, so she's a nurse. Yeah, so for a while actually, she didn't do anything. It was all her schedule. So she was in, and then she was crazy with all the backlog. And then now things are back to normal. How are you doing? Good. We're just we're back in. Are you guys in a hybrid? That's what we're doing. I've got reserve duty this week. I'm still in the Air Force Reserve, so in about 10 hours I'm sergeant. We're in again. I drive back out tonight. Where are you going? Wayman Air Force Base. I was out there today, but it's about an hour and 10-minute drive in. It's kind of fun doing this game. Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, how old are you now, Alex? 30 years old. I was 33 when I started at Aquinas. And I'm 55 now, and it's just, I mean, you know already how fast it don't slow down if you, I'm 71 now. Yeah, it's all kind of nuts how fast it goes. So what are you teaching this year? So I'm still in theology. I'm doing 3 sections of the apologetics, faith and reason, and an elective on death and dying that I came up with a few years ago. I took it. Yeah, I took it my junior year from my favorite teacher as a high school kid, and finally Dr. Ford signed off on it, and or finally I got it written up and he signed off, and it's been good. It's just one section. The kids dig iron. Yeah, I mean, crazy if you don't. So did you guys do a 10-year reunion? Yours was?
Yeah, we did. Actually, Lauren and I planned it.
Get a pretty good turnout?
Yeah, actually, it was pretty great. We had like.
Where'd you guys do it?
We did it at the levee. Yeah. We're over in the Westport.
Thank you, ladies. One more round of applause for those wonderful ladies. Thank you.
I'm gonna put this on live. Tell Tim that if you got, I'm gonna go bathroom.
Okay, Tim's here.
Oh, hey. Hit unmute when you guys are ready. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I don't know how long it's gonna take.
You'll be able. Yeah.
Okay.
A little loud, huh? Make it sound like there's like 20,000 people here. Stand up desk and I'm like literally I'm at work, I'm ready to sit down now. We had a hard week. We didn't get back from Dallas until we were down there for that tournament.
Yeah.
How was that tournament?
Heartbreaking, but good.
Really? Why?
We made it to the semifinals.
No kidding.
And we were up 3-1. And girl kicks the ball, and we were our girls on the wall. They're
arms are down, like actually like this.
Yeah.
That's what you're taught.
Right.
And the ball hits her here, and they call it handball on her own box.
What you can do about that, though?
So yeah, exactly. So of course they get the convert the PK, game changes, and then this. Here's my girl. You'll see. I'll let you do whatever you want to. That's an extra final minute of extra time.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Come on.
So I put it in slow. I got it. The girl doesn't even get a touch on it. She gets a touch right there. She takes a touch to goal, and
She just takes her leg out.
yeah. So then we lose the PKs 4-3. The team that was it's the Houston Dashes
Yeah.
team. They're club team. So I mean,
That sucks.
heartbreaking.
How many teams were down there?
This was last year there was 64 in her bracket. This year they were only I think 18, but or whatever, 24.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a good tournament.
Yeah.
But our little girls from Kansas can compete against the Texas girls, which was it was heartbreaking. That team ended up winning the whole thing, but
Really?
still,
That doesn't help.
just one crap call changed it. And I can kind of see, you watch that again, the girl maybe gets a touch on it after her, but she didn't play the ball. She destroyed Anderson. And our coach goes, well, I'm going to give him a little bit, the referee a little bit of a down, because but 80 to 90% of the time, the referee's going to call it.
Right. Well, it was so late, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know of a soccer ref that wants to make that call late in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shouldn't lose a game up here at all playing against.
Really?
My oldest is playing right now. We've been playing soccer since late June.
That's not bad. Never ran into any problems?
Yeah, I mean we lost the entire spring season.
Well, yeah. welcome back to St. Thomas Aquinas. 14-0 on Aquinas, 2-touchdown lead over St. James on Sports Radio 810. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Randy, for that halftime report. All those scores from across the area. And again, 14-0 here. I'm Tim Sproul. He's Jeremy Crabtree. And Jeremy, St. James is going to touch the football first in this third quarter. They had a rough first quarter. Aquinas went down no problem, scored on their first two drives. But then their defense started to come to play a little bit, forced to punt. And, of course, that last drive took them into halftime. The offense has gotten into the red zone twice, but they haven't been able to finish the deal.
No, it's a testament to this St. Thomas Aquinas defense. We knew that they were going to be good, and they bent a little bit, but they have never broken. So you got to give a lot of credit to this St. Thomas Aquinas defense for making key plays on third downs and fourth downs to keep St. James out of the end zone. This is, you don't want to say a drive at the start of the half is maybe the defining drive of the game, but this is a very important drive for St. James. They have to get something, even if it's not a touchdown. Get some points on the board, get some momentum going here.
Not only that, but St. Thomas Aquinas had a 7-point advantage in time of possession. They held the ball for almost 15 minutes. St. James only 7.5 minutes of possession that first half. So if nothing else, let your defense catch their breath. Let them get ready for this second half, because it's going to be a war in this second half. We know what Aquinas is going to bring to the table. This offense for St. James has got to find a spark.
Yeah, only 108 yards of total offense in the first half. That's not going to do it against a very good offensive team with Aquinas. You got to do better here.
Back deep for St. James is White and Steinledge. Steinledge is going to take it off a hop at the 15-yard line, across the 30, 35, fighting his way near the 40, and he's finally dragged down to the 39. Steinledge has had two real good returns tonight, and that helps if you're St. James.
Yeah, definitely. You got to find a way to get the ball into White's hand more in this second half. I don't know about you, Tim, but it just seemed like he wasn't as involved as you would want somebody that came into this game last season after 1,200 yards rushing. I know he's in a new place, and Tyler Claiborne is a very good offensive threat at tight end, but still, you got to get White involved.
Yeah, 7 carries, 40 yards. And this is a guy that a year ago at Piper averaged 124 rush yards a contest. Here comes St. James from the 39-yard line after the good kick return. They're going to fake to White, and Burritt is going to keep it and get roped at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half yard.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that against this very good defense here. I mean, you can't run a bunch of play fakes and misdirections and things like that. You just got to go right at him or go quick hitters.
Caden Reeves, one of the Saint defenders, in on that stop. Dakota Burritt, 4 for 13 throwing the football in that first half for only 54 yards. And his top target was Tyler Claiborne. Here's a 2nd and 9 play. Burritt throws a drag route over the middle for Claiborne, breaks a tackle, and extends the football forward to the 45-yard line. Another grab. That's his go-to guy. He's been reliable all night, and it sets up a third and manageable.
Well, then, he came into this game last season, 16 yards, almost 17 yards of reception, 2 scores. He's having himself a heck of a game, but you can't just zero in on one guy, because if you looked on that, there were 2 Saints defenders right there waiting for him to catch that football.
3rd and 4, opening drive of this third quarter, off the far hash mark. From the 45-yard line of St. James, Burritt claps his hands, pistol snap, pressure in his face, over the middle, high, and incomplete. He was looking for Claiborne again, and like you said, he's really getting locked in on one receiver.
And Burritt didn't also set his feet either on that play. Felt the pressure. The pressure wasn't really there. He maybe had even a fraction of a second longer to hold on to the football, and it looks like St. James, well, we know the could go for it here, punter / quarterback Burritt, but one of these weird spots.
Yeah, Burritt lines up a little deeper. He'll likely be booting this one away. He's going to roll out, get rid of a nice punt into the lights. It's going to hit inside the 20, take a St. James hot inside the 10, inside the 5. It is going to get down inside the 1-yard line.
Wow.
Dakota Burritt has just flipped the field, and Aquinas is going to start inside their 1.
Tell you what, that worked out quite well, and I liked how he did it. Sometimes you can tell immediately that the quarterback / punter is going to punt the football. He stayed up, toward it, then took a couple steps back right at the end and did not let Aquinas get anybody back.
So St. James unable to do much offensively, but now they have pinned Aquinas. 10:21 to go, third quarter. 14-0 Aquinas leads. First time they have touched the ball in this second half. Behind Randy Dreiling in his 7th season at St. Thomas Aquinas, his 29th season as a head coach. He won the state championship 2 years ago, came up a game short, lost in overtime to Mill Valley in the semifinals last year. 1st and 10, Anderson inside the 1 is going to open up and give to Tank Young behind right guard, pushes the pile forward to about the 4-yard line. There's a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, it's also imperative. We saw Anderson put the ball on the ground 3 times in the first half. Ball protection, ball protection, ball protection right here on this drive deep.
2nd and 7 coming up for Aquinas. Again, off their own 4-yard line. Far hash just inside 10 minutes to go in this third quarter, just underway in this second half. Tank Young, 88 yards on the ground in that first half.
Felt like a quiet 88 yards, though, Tim. If there was such a thing.
Averaged 170 a game last year. 2nd and 7. They're going to give to Young straight up the middle. Breaks one tackle. Far sideline. Tank Young. He is going to go 96 yards. And it is 20-0 Aquinas. Wow. There it is. You said it. In the blink of an eye, this guy can go 70, 80, 94 yards, or 96 yards that time. And just like that, it's a 3-score game.
Yeah, nothing fancy about it. Just right off tackle. Running play that they've stopped all night long. And Danny Carroll, Michael Lutchfield did a nice job at the point of attack on the right side and just powered through, and he kind of cruised all the way into the end zone.
Extra point up and good. 21-0, just like that. Aquinas backed up, no problem. It's a 3-score game on Sports Radio 810. Steinledge and White back deep for St. James. 21-0 Aquinas after the 96-yard touchdown run from Tank Young, his first of the year. A ground ball hit is going to be picked up by James White near side, 25-30. Runs into a wall, 35. He high steps his way to the 37-yard line. Took it off a couple of hops, and another good return for St. James. But now you're in a 21-0 hole, and now the offense has to get it going.
Gotta go. But don't want to put it in panic mode quite yet. I mean, you've been able to hook up with Claiborne quite well. Again, got to find a way to get White more involved in this game.
Yeah.
Whether it's throwing the ball, I mean, that's what he was so good at Piper, catching the ball out of the backfield. Really haven't targeted him much, maybe once or twice in this game. Find a way to get him involved, get his hands, get him some touches.
Aquinas has now put up 289 yards total offense to only 114 for St. James. Burritt is going to throw a hitch route to Claiborne near side. He fights his way to the 45-yard line. 7 yards on first down.
That's a nice little play right there. And Claiborne knows he's going to get hit on those quick hitches. And he took a couple hits and just got right back up. So that's a nice play to start this drive. 6th
Catch of the game for Claiborne. 67 yards through the air for Tyler Claiborne. 2nd and 3 for St. James. 8:47 to go, third quarter, 21-0 Aquinas. Off the near hash, empty backfield for Burritt. Looking right, throwing right. He completes the hitch across midfield, spinning to the 46. of Aquinas goes to slot receiver Jake Boone, and they're going to move the chains.
I do like what they're doing. They're getting the ball quickly out of Burrett's hands and finding these quick hitches, these quick hooks, and they're working so far.
First catch of the ball game for Jake Boone. He got targeted one time in that first half.
On that fourth down play in the corner.
And to the 46 of Aquinas goes St. James back in Saints territory. They've been here 4 times tonight. No points, however. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Burrett looks right, throws a hitch again. He's got Claiborne as he's pushed near the sideline at the 38-yard line.
And he's getting double teamed, and they're still completing those passes. And that's tough. That's like what you used to play on Madden or, that old EA Sports college football game where you just immediately line up and then throw it out immediately. And it's unstoppable when it's done well.
He goes 6'3", 180 pounds. And Josh Boone only goes 5'7" on the edge for Aquinas. 2nd and 2 play, they pick up 8. Everyone jumped for Aquinas on the hard count. And offsides, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 across into the backfield.
Oh, that's what those quick hitches, trying to get the ball out of the hands quickly, quarterback's hands quickly. You're just trying to do everything you can as a defensive lineman to disrupt that timing, even going a little bit quickly if you have to.
7:35 to go third quarter, 21-0 Aquinas. St. James trying to get back into this ball game, trying to get on the scoreboard. They've been in the red zone twice. They've been in Aquinas territory 4 times tonight. And just trying to put something on the board. Burrett, short drop, running out of time, rolling left, throwing one deep for the end zone. There it is. Incomplete, in and out of the hands. A jump ball for Claiborne, and he was unable to bring it into the ground.
Boy, it looked like he was going to come down that one, going toe-to-toe with Jacob Bittner, 5'8" versus 6'3", and you're right, Tim, that was literally a jump ball, and Bittner was able to knock it down as he came down, as Claiborne came down with the ball.
If you're going to throw a jump ball to anyone, though, I guess why not be your best receiver who stands at 6'3", but unable to bring it down. 2nd and 10 off the Aquinas 34. They're going to give to White on the stretch play. Good cut back near the middle of the field. Shakes past one, spins past another, and he's down to the 30-yard line. Gain of 4. Makes it a 3rd and 6 with 6:55 to go third quarter.
Yeah, this is manageable. That second down play sets up a third down that's manageable here. This 2 big plays right here feel like it. If you're the Thunder, you got to keep the ball out of Aquinas' hands, and you got to find a way to get this first down.
Surprised they haven't given it to White more in this second half. That was the first carry of this second half for James White. They actually mark it at the 31 of Aquinas, so it'll be a 3rd and 7 play for St. James. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Burrett is going to give to White on the stretch. Breaks one tackle, trying to get to the edge. He is going to cut it up near the 26-yard line and get dropped there. Call it 5 yards, and it's going to set up a 4th down.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 4th. Well, let's call it 4 play.
And Claiborne was off that play. He comes right back on for this monster 4th down play. I got to get it into his hands somehow, some way here.
St. James needs this. 5:53 to go third quarter, down 21-0 from the Aquinas 27-yard line. It's a 4th and 4 play. Off the near hash, Burrett, short drop, running out of time, fires a hitch route. Hit as the ball arrives, incomplete. They were looking for Claiborne. It falls to the turf, and Aquinas gets a stop.
Yeah, Elias Carson came up huge, timed that perfectly. Hit Claiborne right as the ball got there. And, that's all you can do. You can do as a defensive back is just come up and make a big hit like that. And if you're the Thunder, you're thinking to yourself, another missed opportunity.
You said it, though. Elias Carson arrived as the ball arrived. And that's a beautiful play by the defensive back. You go ahead and put a shoulder into the receiver as the ball arrives. Dislodged it, and Aquinas is back onto the field. Anderson is going to open up, give the tank straight up the middle, nowhere to go through the middle. And now Tank well over 100 yards in this game at a 96-yard touchdown. Actually had 99 yards rushing on the last drive. He had a 3-yard carry and a 96-yard touchdown run.
That'll make your average look pretty good right there,
Yeah.
Tim. Not that he needs any help with that, though.
So on his way to another monster game. In 2 games last year against St. James, he ran for 199 in October, and then in the playoffs, ran for 255. They're going to go straight up the middle again for a gain of about 7, and it'll be a 3rd and short for Aquinas near the 35-yard line.
You know, up until that last drive, you and I were talking that the Thunder had done a pretty good job of kind of holding him contained. He had a quiet, 88 yards, and that's just hadn't given up the explosive play up until that 96-yard run, and that's the key to stopping Tank Young, is not give up those explosive plays, make him earn it.
And now Young is knocking on the door at 200 yards. 3rd and 2 off their own 35. Go Aquinas. Flags and movement before the snap. It's going to be a false start.
And that's what we saw last year in the playoff. That epic playoff game between Mill Valley and Aquinas was they made Tank Young earn it. They didn't give up those big, long touchdown runs. They made him earn it. And that's the way you somehow stop this Aquinas offense, is you make Tank Young run the ball 50 times and earn it.
Right.
Versus giving up the explosive long runs like we saw there.
4:31 to go, 3rd quarter. 21-0 Aquinas on Sports Radio 810 WHB. I'm Tim Spurl. He's Jeremy Crabtree. Aquinas, after the false start, got to pick up 7 yards from their own 31-yard line to move the chains and keep this drive alive. In the middle of the field, 1 receiver in the formation. Anderson wants to go to the air, firing an out route high and incomplete. He was looking for Kammerer on the far sideline. And it's going to bring up a 4th and 7 punt unit out there for Aquinas.
Hey, nice job by the Thunder defense. After not doing anything on the offensive side of the ball, moving up to pretty good field position. And after giving up the big play on the drive before, the Thunder defense comes back to play.
Stay tuned, by the way, after the conclusion of this game for the Bob Hamilton postgame show. Punt unit out there for Aquinas. And back deep, Jack Ghostman for St. James. 4:12 to go, 3rd quarter. Low snap. Kammerer had to go retreat to pick that one up. Gets rid of a high boot into the night. Ghostman fair catches it at the St. James 44-yard line, but Aquinas avoids disaster. Kammerer had to pick that snap up off a hop, but had plenty of time to get rid of a good punt. 4:05 to go, 3rd quarter.
Let's get a game break in here. This game break is brought to you by CarStar Metcalf. If you're a family member that gets an offender bender, be sure to call CarStar Metcalf. CarStar, they've got you covered. On the Kansas side, Olathe North is up 35-0 over Olathe South. Mill Valley rolling crosstown rivals DeSoto 49-7. Lawrence is up 35-0 over Washburn Rural. Olathe West 14-0 over Olathe Northwest. Baser and Leadwood 41-22.
St. James tried to run a reverse throwback. It ended in disaster as they tossed it back to the quarterback, Burritt, after the reverse. And it went through Burritt's hands. St. James has to recover at their own 29.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the point where you get fancy. You just need to... You've been moving the ball pretty good down the field, but I don't go fancy here. I just continue to do what you've been doing all game long.
That makes it 2nd and 24. They lose 14 yards after the trick play attempt. Burritt, here comes pressure. Setting up the screen for White. He is going to get dropped back at the 28-yard line. A great job by the linebacker, Peyton Pitsanik.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a holding call in the backfield on the screenplay because of the jailbreak that was coming. They blitzed from the outside. Malcott came flying through. And I think they're going to get a Terry Spencer left tackle on the hold, and they decline it because of the incomplete. But
boy, they sent the house on that play.
Yeah, I think this Aquinas defense smells blood right now. They know they're the dominant unit and have played great all night long.
3rd and 25 for St. James. 3:18 to go, 3rd quarter. Off their own 28-yard line. They started this drive at their own 43-yard line. They've gone backwards 15 yards on the last 2 plays. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Aquinas showing pressure. Let's see if they bring it. They only send 4. Burritt rolling to the left side, trying to find some time. He is just going to dump one down the sideline, incomplete. It sails out of bounds. But he was getting pressured.
Well, he had Jalen Marshall and Caden Reeves come breathing down his neck, and he did enough. He did a pretty good job, Burritt did, of just biding some time to potentially throw it up there. But this defense is, like I said, they're like sharks. They smell blood in the water right now.
4th and 25. Offense stays out there, but Dakota Burritt has punted twice already out of a regular offensive formation. Should see it again here. 2:51 to go, third quarter. Burritt gets rid of another good-looking punt. Over-the-shoulder catch made near the 30-yard line. Far sideline, 45, midfield, cut back across the 40. And getting out of bounds after the very good return goes Dana Brooks. And here comes Aquinas in St. James territory. 2:38 to go, third quarter. And this is where they put teams away.
Oh, yeah, no question. This is exactly like you said, Tim. They put teams away by just doing what they do well, run the ball effectively, and punish you physically. And wouldn't be surprised if we see some of this on this drive. And, you know, we've seen the Thunder defense bend, and it broke a couple drives ago. This feels like one of these drives that's make or break here for the Thunder. If they want to stay in this game somehow, they got to come up with a stop here.
One receiver in the formation. Anderson pitches to Tank Young. Near side. Cut back near the middle of the field. Reversing field. Tank Young is back into the end zone again. This time from 43 away. And it's a 4-score game.
Well, they broke. they definitely did break. And a lot of that credit to the left side of the offensive line. Grant Willis, Morgan Simmons, and Bryce Clayman did a tremendous job. But also a very good read by Anderson. You know, he had to find a way to make sure he gets the ball perfectly at that right time to Tank Young, and then Tank Young just does what Tank Young does, makes great reads. He is so good at finding the little crevices and cutbacks. He's so strong running the football, but his vision is next level, Tim.
Sam Schmidt remains down near midfield for St. James. He came off the field in the first half, and now it looks like he's got some cramping issues. 2:28 to go, third quarter. Yeah, Tank Young, we mentioned it, a humble 88 yards in that first half. Well, he has exploded, and he's over 250 in the game now, rushing the football. 2 touchdowns to go along with it. Schmidt able to walk off the field under his own power. Extra point team out there, Matt Siebold, is 3 for 3 kicking these extra points so far tonight. 2:28 to go, third quarter. Siebold's extra point kick up and through. 28-0. Tank Young taking over. What else is new? Stay with us on Sports Radio 810. $28-0. St. Thomas Aquinas all over St. James. Here is a high short kick. It is going to be fair caught by the up man at the 27-yard line. And here comes St. James offensively behind Coach Radke in his 11th season at St. James, 16th season overall as a head coach. We talked about it in the pregame. I mean, St. James A lot of unknowns about this team, but they're playing one of the best teams in the area. They're going to challenge themselves. This is what gets you ready for the playoffs. And St. James drops from 5A to 4A this year. And so games like this prepare you for the rest of the season.
And their schedule's not exactly easy either. I mean, I know they got Miege, Rockhurst later on down the road, so they are going to test themselves and be ready to roll come playoff time.
Claiborne catches another hitch route far side. He picks up 7 yards out to the 35-yard line. They do have Miege on October 23rd. Miege, the number 1 team, obviously, in Class 4A. And with these two teams on the same side of the state, at some point you would imagine, barring an upset, they're going to meet a few weeks later in the playoffs.
Yeah. And that's what we've been waiting for, somebody in this side to challenge Miege.
Another hitch route is complete right at the sticks for a first down. This time it's to Josh Kirby.
I mean, because sometimes people thought maybe DeSoto was going to be the team that could break through and finally beat Miege, and there's just been nobody to do it. And I'm excited to and curious to see what this St. James team can do long term, not just this year, but later on down the road. Can they be the team that can maybe eventually dethrones Miege?
2:08 to go, third quarter. St. James moves it out to the 40-yard line. Far hash, Burritt is going to fire an out route complete, and getting out of bounds after a gain of 6 yards to the 46 is Josh Kirby.
Well, Peyton Patznick almost had himself an INT right there. They're setting on these short passes.
Yeah, now they know what's coming.
They do, because they have to throw the ball, because against Aquinas, 28-0 feels more like 42-0.
Yeah. These corners right now are giving a little bit of a cushion, not a huge cushion, and now they're going to creep the corners up near the line of scrimmage here on a 2nd and 4 play. Out route near side is complete and hit immediately. Elias Carson blows up Tyler Claiborne. They pick up maybe a half yard, and it's third down.
Yeah, Carson's had a very good game. Big breakup on that 4th down a couple drives ago, and big tackle there.
1:40 to go, third quarter. 28-0 St. Thomas Aquinas on Sports Radio 810. Also on 810varsity.com, a 3rd and 4 play. Off the near hash from the 46 of St. James. The Thunder trying to keep this drive alive here late into the third quarter. 3 to the left side, 1 to the right side. Claiborne on an island out here to the right side. Burritt from the pistol, pressure in his face, fires a hitch complete to Claiborne, shakes past 1, and he's going to get tripped up. And near the 45-yard line of Aquinas, they move the chains again.
No, if you're looking, obviously first games, you're looking for, in situations like this, you're looking for something positive, and you're going to get something positive when you look back at this game film. There's going to be few teams that can match up with Claiborne the rest of the season like we've seen here with Aquinas tonight, and he's having himself a heck of a game.
He is. Again, 6'3", 180. Tall, athletic, and he's been all over the field tonight. He has been a bright spot for St. James offensively. 10 catches tonight for Claiborne. 1st and 10. Off the near hash, they're going to give to White straight up the middle. Dodges 1 and carries another defender out to the 43. Cameron Penny caught him from behind.
I am a little surprised that they have abandoned giving the ball to White in some fashion, at least trying to throw the ball to him out of the backfield, give him some extra touches. It's been literally get it to Claiborne, and it has worked, but when you have an explosive player like White, you do want to find ways to get the ball in his hands somehow.
Inside 20 seconds could be the last play of this third quarter. A 2nd and 6 play after the 4-yard carry for LaJames White. 3 left, 1 right. Off the near hash. Burritt claps his hands. Fakes to White. He keeps it running behind right guard, and he is steamrolled at the 42-yard line. Jack Forgy. And that is going to wind us down in this third quarter. We head for the 4th. Aquinas adds 2 touchdowns. Tank Young having himself a day on Sports Radio 810. Welcome back to St. Thomas Aquinas as we start quarter number 4. I am Tim Spurl. He is Jeremy Crabtree. And just a reminder to stay tuned after the conclusion of this one for the Bob Hamilton postgame show. They'll have the wrap of this game, obviously, and all the wraps from everything in the area tonight on a busy Friday night. This third down pass is tipped up into the air, bobbled, fought for, and hauled in by Josh Kirby at the first down marker. And that was a 50-50 ball.
Yep.
Kirby wrestled it away from the defender, and it's going to be right at the first down marker.
Yeah, it's going to be a simultaneous catch. They're going to give the ball to the receiver. So, but it is short. We'll be fourth and less than 1 here.
Just under a yard. Ball is spotted at the 42. You got to get it to right at the 41. The nose of the 41 to move the chains. So just under a yard to go here as we just open up the fourth quarter. 28-0 Aquinas leads. Well, James White, the deep back, and going out of the pistol is Dakota Burritt. Burritt is going to turn, give to White. He is going to get tripped up in the backfield. CVE was waiting on him. They lose 2 yards and another turnover.
Again, Tim, you've done this enough with me to know that that's one of my pet peeves. 4th and inches, and you line up in the shotgun or the pistol, and you hand the ball to a guy that's 7 yards deep, especially against a very good defensive line. And CVE, he does a nice job of breaking through there and shutting down James White on the 4th down play. That just dumbfounds me why coaches still do that, and it did not work there.
So Aquinas takes back over at their own 40-yard line after the 4th down stop. Anderson still in the game. Gives straight up the middle to Sean Carroll, who carries for 7 yards. Tank Young back into the game. And you can't imagine that they're going to put too much more tread on those tires tonight.
No, there's no reason to do that tonight. He's already got almost 240 yards, and you're up by 4 scores.
10:45 to go in this fourth quarter. Tank Young off the field. No, he is on the field again. He's going to get the pitch near side. Across midfield, run out of bounds near the 48 of St. James. That time he was in the wing instead of the normal deep back position. But he picks up another first down. They move the chains. Ten and a half to play in this fourth quarter. Aquinas next week will be right here again. They take on Bishop Miege from Aquinas. It's not going to be the normal Catholic Clash crowd, but you're still going to have a good number of people. They are going to be loud as they have been tonight. 10:36 to go in this fourth quarter. They give to Carroll straight up the middle, dragging a tackler across the 40 down to the 39 of St. James. So Aquinas continues to rip off big chunks as a Thunder player remains down briefly.
Tell you what, give these Aquinas parents a lot of credit. They're fired up and have been this entire game. Don't know if you can hear it on the broadcast here, but they're, as we talked about pregame, there aren't as many families here, but it's still a really loud crowd, and I can't wait till next week. They're going to be loud next week too.
Again, they did about 4 tickets per player, 4 tickets per cheerleader, and obviously per coach. So it's still a solid-sized crowd, but of course not a regular Aquinas home game crowd that you'd be accustomed to. But yeah, like you said, they have been loud. 2nd and 1, they're going to toss it near side. Lang dragging a tackler across the 35, and he finally is upended near the 33. But not after another first down run.
That's a nice run, breaking tackles, and doing that type of stuff's going to win you some credit from the coaches when you watch the game tape tomorrow morning. They're going to be looking for little things like that to get extra playing time later on down the road. This little things like that can win you some love from the coaches.
Out to the St. James 33-yard line goes Aquinas. 9:20 to go in this fourth quarter. And Lang remains the deep back for Blake Anderson. Short drop, wants to go to the air, is going to zip one down the seam, in and out of the hands of the tight end, Morozes.
Oh.
And if he hangs on, he walks into the end zone.
Yeah, he needs to go apologize to Anderson because that should have been a touchdown because Morozes had that hit him right where it's supposed to hit him in the hands, and unfortunately it falls to the ground for Aquinas. And Anderson, he's had some inaccurate passes, but tonight, that one was right on the money, Tim. That is right where you need it to be.
Second and 10 for Aquinas. No Tank Young on the field on this second down play. They give to Carroll straight up the middle. Picks up a couple of yards through the middle. 9 minutes to go fourth quarter. And for St. James, a couple of road trips coming up. They're at Eudora next week and then head up to Baser in 2 weeks.
Those are two games. I mean, the Baser's a good program. Eudora's done well in the past. Those are two games I think St. James could be going into as favorites. So, I mean, they haven't played bad tonight. They just haven't been able to capitalize on their opportunities, and Aquinas has.
Two receivers in the formation on a 3rd and 8 play. They're going to give to Carroll one more time off left guard. Carries a couple of defenders for 5 yards through the middle. Out to about the 25-yard line. Here comes a fourth down. 8:18 to go fourth quarter. 28-0 Aquinas. And here comes Tank.
Tank is back on there.
Fourth and short, Young, the deep back behind Anderson. Anderson flips to him. He's got a first down as he drops the shoulder and fights his way near the 22-yard line. He should have the first down. It looked like it off the initial surge up here. We'll wait for the spot, but it sure looked like a first down.
Well,
they mark it back at a 23-yard line. Let's see if that's enough.
They're moving the chain. They're going to move the chains, but that sure looked like he got it over the initial. I'm up here, I guess, just making sure, taking the time, making sure.
7:44 and rolling to go in this fourth quarter. And now Young heads off. Lang, the deep back, is going to get the carry straight up the middle. Breaks one tackle, fights through an arm tackle, and he spins near the 10-yard line. 13 yards and a first down for Aquinas.
Well, if there's any doubt that there would be a layoff between Mill Valley after a big win over Derby last week, there isn't. They're rolling now 56-21 over crosstown rivals DeSoto. So,
yeah, I am.
Jaguars are for real. Yeah,
I'm
they
sold
are.
on that team after last week. They hammered Derby 45-14 at Mill Valley. It was our game of the week a week ago.
And they're a complete team. They've got the special teams too.
Yeah, they got one of the best kickers in the area. Anderson turns, gives to Lang this time. He is stood up at the line of scrimmage, fought forward for a couple of yards, and it'll be second and goal. We're inside 7 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
That's hard. That's some hard running by William and Lang. I tell you what, we talked about a couple plays ago. That's going to be the stuff that the coaches are going to look at tomorrow when they watch film to get them fired up. It's the Tank Young runs. They're beautiful, but it's those little 5-yard runs like that when you know the game's already won and you putting in that extra effort. Those are the types of things that coaches absolutely love.
Inside 6.5, second and goal, off the 5, 28-0 Aquinas, looking to add to their big lead late into this fourth quarter. They toss it to Lang, good cut back near the hash mark, trying to fight for the end zone. He is short to about the 2-yard line. And it'll be third and goal for Aquinas.
I bet he gets the ball 2 more times.
Lang, a senior, checks in at 5'8", $190. And now here comes Sean Carroll, 5'10", sophomore, 207 pounds.
Lang comes running off.
That might be the future of this Aquinas backfield right there.
Yeah, he's a good-looking kid, too.
Third and goal. Carroll, the deep back, behind the backup quarterback, Maxwell Ford. They're going to give to Carroll. Now the ball comes loose on the exchange, and Aquinas there to fall on it. It's fourth and goal from the 3.
Trying to get the backup quarterback some experience, sophomore, and shows you how difficult this offense can be right out of the gate. Mishandles this exchange.
And this is probably the future at quarterback. 6'3", 205 as a sophomore. As a big kid at the quarterback position as a 16-year-old kid. 5:10 to go, fourth quarter. And again, sophomore under center, sophomore the deep back. On a 4th and goal play. Movement. And we'll see who jumped first.
I think they're going to get Carroll.
And it is going to be a false start. Yeah, Carroll, the tailback, came out of the stance.
And here comes the field goal unit. All right.
Inside 5 to go. And the field goal team is going to run on there. And Siebold is going to line this one up. Off the right hash, it's going to be a 25-yard field goal try. He's connected on all 4 extra point attempts. And that was first field goal try of the season off the right hash. Hooking and off the left upright, no good. And it remains a 28-0 game.
I tell you, that's what the high school and college kids, they have it. The kickers, they have it so tough with those weird angles. The NFL they almost kind of make it easier for. I know it's narrower, that's fine, but that was a very, very hard angle. I'm going to defend the kicker a little bit there. That was a hard angle, and tried to just get enough English on it to get through there, and it didn't get through.
So that Aquinas defense back on the field, a lot of starters back on the field for that Aquinas defense, and here comes St. James offensively, 4:52 to go in this fourth quarter.
Pitching a shutout. They want the clean sheet.
3 to the right side, 1 to the left side. Burritt has had a difficult night tonight, throwing the football against a very good secondary and Aquinas. Well, James White hasn't had a whole lot of running room tonight for St. James either. Burritt, short drop, loading up, taking a shot far side. It is incomplete, too high for Claiborne. And it's going to be 2nd and 10.
And I tell you what, though, that was there. Claiborne almost was able to get underneath that, and one of the rare times where he's had one-on-one coverage here in this second half.
Will Gavin running step for step with Claiborne.
Yeah, Will Gavin's pretty quick, too, so he was right there like you said.
Part of a secondary that welcomes a couple of newcomers, Robbie Nafas and Jack Forgy, who has got a pretty strong family lineage, the Forgy and Van Dyke family. A couple of Benedictine legends out of that Van Dyke family. Rolling to the left is Burritt, firing off his back foot and incomplete. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
Tell you what, Jalen Marshall just quietly has had himself a heck of a game. I'll be curious to see what his tackle stat sheet is at the end of it. He's just been everywhere. There's a reason why the kid's got multiple high-level offers, SEC, Big 12, and the number 2 recruit in the 2022 class in the city of Kansas, and I can see why. He's the real deal, Tim.
4:41 to go, fourth quarter, and a 3rd and 10 play. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Burritt from the shotgun, pressure in his face, ball tipped up into the air, right back to Burritt. He's going to take off and get dropped near the 19-yard line. Well, good awareness to get your hands back on
you gotta knock the ball down. Don't get killed by the defensive lineman coming again. That was CFE and Jalen Marshall busting through there again. These defensive linemen are just licking their chops here late in the game because they know that they had to throw the ball.
4th and 11. Offense out there, but likely another punt coming from Burritt with 4 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. 28-0 Aquinas. Burritt is just going to catch it and boot it. A line drive punt sails out of bounds on the far sideline. So Aquinas is going to have pretty good field position, but don't expect to see a lot of starters run back out there for Aquinas. Late into the fourth quarter we go on Sports Radio 810. I am Tim Spurl. He is Jeremy Crabtree. And again, we're going to be right back here next week. A big
Got my
matchup.
spot.
Got your match.
Got my spot right here. I'm ready to go.
Right at the pole. Aquinas and Miege. And again, it's been a rivalry that has gone Aquinas' way the last couple of years. Miege was on a stretch there for a few years where they really dominated this rivalry, but Aquinas has shifted it into their corner the last few years.
No question, and it should be an excellent battle too. I mean, I'm very curious to see how it breaks down. I mean, I haven't really done the X's and O's yet. I think both quarterbacks have an opportunity to be pretty good coming into this one, and we know that Miege returns a lot of explosive offensive firepower, but and they get it done differently. Miege likes to throw the ball all over the field, and we've got Aquinas that likes to get it done. I think Aquinas probably has a better defense, but things like that happens. Weird things happen in rivalry games. You never know.
5 yards on first down. 2nd and 5, 3:19 to go in this fourth quarter. They're going to toss to Lang, who fights his way forward across the 35 near the first down marker. Maybe about a yard short. And Miege a lot of unknowns. Again, we haven't looked into it yet. But a very good quarterback in Tim Dorsey.
Yeah.
So should be a really good matchup. Miege obviously wants to throw it.
Dorsey got better as the year went along. He was one of those guys that you could see what the coaches at Miege absolutely loved early on with him. You could see that they thought he had the chance to be special, but he still made a few easy, silly mistakes. But as the season went on, he got better and made fewer of those mistakes in big games.
Lang drops the football, scrum for it in the middle of the field. St. James is saying they have it. That went right into the gut of Lang and popped right back out. St. James does have a turnover. 2:30 to go in the ball game as the Thunder force a turnover. Is that the first turnover we've had?
It is, and give St. James some credit here. I mean, they've not given up. They're still fighting hard. You could see it on the stream, couldn't hear it on the radio call, but they were fired up after that fumble recovery. The sideline was fired up, so they've stayed engaged, and that's what you want from a coach. Coach Radke's going to be looking for positives, and that's a positive. Your team's still engaged, still willing to fight, even though they're down 4 scores.
They give to White a little hesitation juke in the middle, and he spits out near the 40-yard line. Call it 4 yards on first down for James White. Again, hasn't gotten the load that we were expecting tonight, but not a bad evening for White when everything's said and done. But Tank Young really overshadowed him with an incredible performance again. But what else is new for Tank Young? 245 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns tonight. And he really did it in 3 quarters.
Yeah.
2nd and 5 play for St. James. They give to White again, near side, trying to bounce it to the sideline. He is run down and smoked by the outside backer, Gabe Fender.
Yeah, you can't do that. There's the Aquinas defense, even the second string, they got guys that can fly and always are near the football, and you can't go sideways against them. We've seen that enough over the years. You can't go sideways against Aquinas. You got to run right at them, and can't say enough about how well this defense has played all night long.
Fender, a reserve linebacker, only a sophomore. That was a big play tackle right there. 3rd and 9. They lose 4 yards. They're going to give to White again. A stretch play this time going to the far side. White is tripped up across the 40 near the 41-yard line.
Yeah, White's going to be upset with that one. He should not have gone down on that play. He could have gotten a first down.
Turner able to trip him up as he heads off. We are inside 45 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. A 4th and short for St. James coming up. Could be the last play of the night for St. James if they don't get it here. Burritt is going to fire a hitch route, complete it, and spinning forward and getting shoved out of bounds is Claiborne. 23 seconds to go in this game.
Wow. Another quick score update. The number 1 team in the city, Mill Valley's put 70 up on DeSoto now, 70-21. No love lost there in that crosstown rivalry.
And Mill Valley's got some firepower. Cooper Marsh went out and hung it on Derby a week ago, and I'm sure that offense had another great night tonight. Burritt, long drop, deep ball down the middle of the field, incomplete. The receiver was asking for a penalty. As soon as the ball left the quarterback's hand, it felt like.
He was not running the route. He was begging for the call, and he didn't. The back judge looked at him and was like, nope, I'm not going to throw that flag on.
1 second remaining, 28-0.
I mean, it's hard to describe. I mean, he literally was running the route with his arms.
Almost the entire way, it felt like. He needed that call, man. He didn't get it. Here we go. Just 1 second to go in this ball game. It is going to be a 1-0 start for Aquinas, and St. James is going to drop to 0-1. But they're going to have a lot of things to look back on film and be excited about. Burritt is going to give to White straight up the middle. The horn rings in the background. White dodging a couple tacklers, hitting the near sideline, 25-20. Inside the 15, gets stopped from behind near the 10. And that's how this game's going to end. James White ends it on a high note. But that's going to put a capper on this one, 28-0. St. Thomas Aquinas pitches a shutout at home to kick off the regular season. Blake Anderson threw a touchdown, ran one in. Tank Young, have yourself a night. 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, and another great start to the year for St. Thomas Aquinas. Again, we're back here next Friday night as Aquinas takes on Miege for your Sports Radio 810 Game of the Week. I am out of here. We're going to throw it back to the guys in the studio. They're going to have Jeremy on in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. He's going to have your wrap about this game, talk about both of these teams, and they're going to give you all the scores from a busy Friday night in the KC metro area. Thanks for joining us tonight on Sports Radio 810 and 810varsity.com. I'm Tim Spurl. He's Jeremy Crabtree. Running the board tonight was Jim McClintock. We're out of here. See you next Friday.